and welcome to another Chronicle Chamber book review. I'm Ankit, and today I'll be reviewing Regal Comics' The Phantom issue number 26 and 27. So, firstly, both these issues come with uh, like the new thing from them, and this is like laminated covers. So this is the book cover is on a much thicker stock paper, and it's laminated, and it's for both of them. And so there has also been an upcharge in the pricing, so it's 300 rupees now from the 200 per issue, I guess. And there's freebies, so the cover art has been done in uh, free cards with them, as you can see here. So let's start with the issue number 26. Issue 26 has two stories, The Nomad and Shadows of Rune Noble, which are by Tony DePaul, and the artist is Eduardo Barreto, and the cover art has been done by me. And there is a tribute art again done by me for Eduardo Barreto, because these two are the only two Sunday stories that he has. And there is a small article about Eduardo Barreto and his work on the Phantom by Frank Borg, who is a very renowned blogger and Phantom fan on the internet, and he has fantastic articles on his blog and everything, and his website and other various social media handles. Go check him out. He's known as the Phantom fan. And yeah, so here we have the stories. As usual, they are Sunday stories, and as we know, the first story, Nomad, was started off by Paul Ryan on art till about halfway through, when Eduardo Barreto takes over the artwork here. The transitions here, and it's beautiful, and his work, especially with his daughter Andrea's colors, it's just amazing. And it's just very sad that, like, his tenure was so short, because the way he would outlay, like, this panel, like the way he's broken this up, it's just incredible. And he has such great lush, like, layouts for his thing. He captures fantastic views, like, if you read through it, especially this one, it's a work of art. This layout, how you can literally see the central figures of what it is, and the details on the villages are still there. It's insane. It just blows my mind thinking about, speculating what could have been if Eduardo's untimely death didn't happen and he's kept working on the Phantom. This is why this issue. So yeah, so this is his last Sunday page before he passed away, unfortunately. And so Paul Ryan was brought back for finishing at least two Sundays before we had Terry Beatty taking over the Sunday pages. So yeah, two stories. Check it out. 56 pages. And now comes a very special issue that way. It is the first issue from Regal, and for a long time, licensed English Cy Barry's stories are being published, and they are all daily stories, and they're done in a very different manner. I'll get into it. So this is the cover, and I try to have both stories, represented from this. So as you can see, like, this mysterious passenger, and this is from the Vultures, and this Vultures cover is actually like a tribute to the Indrajal cover of the original Vulture story. So you have the green background, the V, and it's like a remake-ish kind of, if you look at it. So yeah. Now, getting into the stories, like, I have an article here which explains the reason for, what was the approach for this book, and why we chose to do two stories in two formats. So I did the colors and some of the additional editing art for the first story, uh, and Ivan Pedersen did the colors for the second story, The Vultures. So I would recommend everybody, like, whoever who buys the book, to really read through what I've written over here, because before jumping into any conclusions. So yeah, so the first story is The Mysterious Passenger, the Tourist Invasion. Starts off with a splash page we've done introducing the story and its details about when it was published and all. And yeah, so the colors are by me and some of the additional art, and the for some of the formatting I took from an online. I guess it was Fru issue or something, but I did make some changes which I felt were necessary for the flow of the story, and some parts where I felt like the narrative was a little thing, and some of the art extra parts where the way to just fill up the aspect ratio of it, keeping the larger. This is actually done keeping in mind how almost all, yeah, the Phantom publishers before this, like Indrajal Diamond, they uh, they edited the stories way more to fit aspect ratios or even increase page numbers to move on to one issue to the other. So yeah, I in terms of the coloring, I try to keep it like as simple as possible, but also in ways so that it doesn't look too dated. Like there are reasons for, like, say, like the blues and all, and the way towards the end when the climax comes in, it's happening in a night scene in a fog. So how the illumination and everything works. And yeah, so funny thing is, like, yeah, I showed these colors on a podcast. Like, actually, I had a podcast with not really, I would say a Zoom call with me, Jermaine from Chronicle Chamber, and Mr. Sai Barry himself, and I had shared my colors with him and everything just for his approval, and he made some very good points about it, which I did incorporate later on. And so yeah, he's probably, I guess, he's vetted my colors, so I'm quite happy with them that way. And it was a lot of work. So yeah, that's about it. So now we have the Vultures, which is colored by Ivan Pedersen. Now these panels are exactly how it came in the strips. There is uh, no edit for, like, fitting into different aspect ratios. So you can see that the panels are a little smaller because it's very difficult to, like, fit, like, in a comic format. When you put in, the newspaper strips, it just becomes a little bit difficult to really put together as such. So yeah, very well colored. The usual Ivan's work, how he, and yeah, it's one of my favorite stories too. So yeah, so this in a way is a little kind of a modern historical thing because it's Sai Barry's work being published in India again in English and in all new colors, which is not done before. These are daily stories. So yeah, go check it out. Happy phantoming.